From the BG Podcast Network studios, brought to you by Chattahoochee Tech, this is your Paulding County News Podcast, bringing our stories to life with news, events, and what we're talking about in Paulding County. Like, follow, and subscribe to hear the latest news from the Paulding County News Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And here's what you're talking about.
Welcome to your Paulding County News Podcast. I'm Melissa Carter along with Doug Harding. Some Georgia women are getting in trouble for sneaking alcohol into the jail, but how did they do it? Very fascinating. Plus, we have a local woman who got bit by her cat, and she needs your advice. But first, let's take a look at our top stories. The Dallas Police Department swiftly responded to an incident last week off Merchants Drive. During the execution of a search warrant, officers heard gunfire nearby. Pursuing the suspects, they apprehended two individuals after a vehicle collision and foot chase. One victim sustained injuries and is receiving treatment. The department urges anyone with information to assist in the investigation by contacting Detective Lawrence at 770-443-8100. This from the City of Dallas Police Department.
Congratulations to an array of exceptional Paulding County students and staff members who were honored at a school board meeting for their outstanding achievements. Among the recognized students were those who excelled in governor's honors, visual arts, all-state winter sports, spelling bee, and character in action for fairness and tolerance. Additionally, teachers and staff received accolades for their contributions to the Georgia High School Musical Theater Awards and Star Staff Recognition. This from the Paulding County Uncut. And Melissa, I don't know about you, but there's nothing that makes me feel more idiotic than watching elementary school students and middle school students at a spelling bee.
Right? That's
Paulding County,
truth.
you did it to me again.
I know. That's the truth. 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 All right, I got that one right.
I'll trust you on that one.
Well, let me ask you a question before I get to the next story. What is the longest job? Like, what's the longest running job you've had? Many years. How many years have you been at a job the longest?
I was at one for 20 years.
Okay. I was 20 to 25 years. Okay. Well, the reason I say that is because the Paulding County Sheriff's Office recently took the opportunity to congratulate the following individuals on their recent longevity recognition. I think companies really should make an effort to do this, like the Paulding County Sheriff's Office. So Senior Administrative Assistant Melanie Thompson, 30 years. Deputy Roger Wicks, 25 years. Sergeant Jimmy Moats, 25 years. Captain Keith Thomas, 20 years, and Captain Ronald Curtis, 20 years. So congratulations, because it takes a lot of commitment and love for your job to stay there for that long. This from the Paulding County Sheriff's Office.
So now I wonder, what do they get as a gift? Do they get like a watch, or do they get, I don't know, they probably have pension funds.
I mean, in a government job, I don't know. Now, in my job, I don't remember. I don't think I didn't get a watch or a statue or a, I think a pat on the back.
Maybe I have an idea. Since they're in Paulding, maybe they should get their own car wash.
Yeah. Yes, at least a coupon. At least a coupon for a car wash.
All right, here's your weather. Partly cloudy today in Hiram and Dallas, high of 80 and a low of 58. I love the warm weather during the day and the cool weather for sleeping at night. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high in Hiram and Dallas of 83 and a low of 61. Tuesday, some more rain, highs in the lower 80s and lows in the lower 60s.
I'm with you. I have the windows open at night. It's really, really nice.
98.7 Chat Tech, where 98.7% of our students earn a career.
So for each of our programs at Chattahoochee Tech, we have an industry advisory committee. Those are people in each given industry that will employ our graduates when they get finished with our program.
We have students that are placed at manufacturing companies such as, let's say Glock, for example, the gun manufacturer, because they have machinery that's running 24/7 to create the guns. So all the way from that to healthcare, where like hospitals, for example, they're running 24/7 and they have machinery that needs to be running 24/7 as well.
My program is specifically for students who want to be in healthcare, but maybe don't want patient contact. Maybe they want to be in healthcare, in a healthcare field that's recession-proof and they're helping people, but maybe they don't want blood, body fluids, any of those elements in their life. So they may choose healthcare management to be on the opposite side of the patient care.
visit chattahoocheetech.edu, where 98.7% of our students earn a career.
We're back with more of your Paulding County News Podcast.
From WSB's Facebook page, 2 Georgia women are facing serious consequences after allegedly consuming, get this, hand sanitizer while behind bars.
Wow.
Lisa Dover and Angela Ragsdale reportedly orchestrated a scheme to steal a bottle of hand sanitizer from an officer's desk in the medical dorm. Deputies detail how they diluted the sanitizer with water and drank it, feeling the effects of its 62% alcohol content. I never would have thought of that. The duo, dubbed the Dream Team by themselves, repeated the theft the next day, leading to their arrest. Now, Dover faces 2 theft charges, while Ragsdale faces similar counts. Both are accused of converting the sanitizer into an alcoholic beverage and consuming it, resulting in their continued incarceration. Now, this is again from WSB. Well, Jonathan Reeves said, sounds like they need serious help because it is pretty desperate to have to do that. Eric Kurtz said, hell, let them keep drinking. The sanitizer will eventually get the job done. Philip Weems says, you just can't fix stupid. But if you drink enough hand sanitizer, you won't have to fix it. I mean, dang.
I wonder if that really works. Now I need to try that.
No, you don't need to try that. You are not incarcerated and you can go to the liquor store. But it does remind me, do you remember that episode of Family Ties with Tom Hanks?
Oh, yeah.
And
he was the alcoholic.
Who's the alcoholic, and he drank the vanilla extract out of the house. And that's how he showed his, desperation with his condition. There's a throwback.
And then I think he beat up Michael P. Keaton in that too.
Did he?
I think he did. Wait, Alex.
I don't know if he beat him up. But anyway, yes, Tom Hanks played that role before. I mean, I think he'd already done Bosom Buddies. Doug and I could get off on a tangent about 80s television, but but I do remember that. From the What's Happening in Paulding County Facebook page, someone wrote, got bitten by my cat. Don't need a cookie, but I was wondering if I need anesthesia to help with the pain. Crystal Down said, bite it back, joke. Clean it well and put some antibiotic ointment on it.
Okay, hold on. Before you read any more comments, she was asking if she needs anesthesia. What did she get bit by a 4,000-pound cat?
The Panthers of Paulding County. No, well, and then she said, I don't need a cookie. I'm like, well, what pediatrician gives you cookies? Anyway, there's a lot going on there. But she did get bitten by the cat. Now it gets serious. People get more and more concerned. Chastity Pendergrass said, tetanus within 48 hours. If you haven't had one in the past 10 years, I would get a booster if close to that. So she wants her to get tetanus shots. Again, the poster said this was her cat, right? So it wasn't a stray. Brett Mather said, please go get antibiotics immediately. Cat bites can literally be fatal and always need antibiotics. Do not listen to these people saying soap and water are fine. They aren't. Cats have needles like teeth that inject bacteria straight into your bloodstream. And then finally, Cindy Oldham said, medical transcriptionist here, go to urgent care or ER tonight for antibiotics. Cat bites can quickly develop a severe infection that needs surgery if not treated immediately. Animal control will be contacted and you will need to show proof of rabies shot, and they will just tell you to notify them if the animal shows signs of illness. I mean, pretty serious. I don't know what kind of bite she got. I mean, I've got cats. I've never had a tetanus shot because of my cats.
That is another reason why I don't own a cat.
Too much drama. Too much drama with cats. Well, your weird story of the day comes out of South Carolina, and it very well could come out of Georgia if it was happening here, because we're talking about the deafening symphony of cicadas. It's capturing attention there with their deafening mating calls, prompting residents to call law enforcement. The Newberry County Sheriff's Office fielded numerous calls, people wondering, what is this noise? Officials likened the cacophony to a biblical event reminiscent of locusts. Yet these periodic visitors are harmless. Have you not endured cicadas before? It will only last 2 to 3 weeks before these cicadas retreat underground there in South Carolina. They'll return in 2037. This from Atlanta News First, but I mean, we've had cicada seasons here, and we get warnings, and, we've told you on our podcast that cicadas are coming, but they're calling 911, wondering what's going on.
Oh my gosh, I wish we had audio footage of that 911 call.
Right? That would be funny.
What's happening in Paulding County? We've got you covered.
All right, some events happening in and around Paulding County. Today, beginning at 2 o'clock, First Day Kids at OCR King Compound in Dallas. Also this evening at 5 o'clock, Loving Arms Cancer Outreach Jazzversary in Dallas. Looking ahead to Wednesday at 4 o'clock, Wine Down Wednesday at Vintage Wine Bar in Dallas. Friday at 8 a.m., New Georgia Baseball's annual golf tournament at Creekside Golf Country Club in Hiram. And also Saturday at 4 o'clock, Relay for Life of Paulding County at Veterans Park in Dallas.
Shannon Price is running for school board at large in the upcoming election, and she joins us to talk about why she put her hat in the race, as well as the biggest concern she has for the schools in Paulding County. That's coming up next.
Learn how to succeed and win big in life, plus much, much more. Listen to the Red Hot Read podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Paulding County News Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
All of our feature interview pieces here on the Paulding County News Podcast are presented by Credit Union of Georgia.
Let's meet some of the interesting people in our neighborhood.
Well, we got Shannon Price on the podcast with us. She is running for Paulding County School Board at Large. Shannon, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're highlighting all the offices that Paulding County has open for the election, of course, the primary at the end of May. And so let's talk about your motivation on why you put your name in the hat for school board.
The reason that I put my name in the hat, my last child is graduating this year. He has had some struggles throughout many of his school years, as well as my older child. They both have ADHD, and it's been a struggle trying to make sure that they've gotten the help that they've needed. I've had to really help them because they struggled with math. I didn't find out that they had ADHD until they got into long division. They could not follow straight lines. And then math started changing drastically. When Common Core came in, it really would mess with them.
Let's talk a little bit about ADHD. I have family members that have that as well. And it is something that I think a long time ago people dismissed as, oh, well, don't feed him sugar or don't whatever it was. But it's an actual diagnosis, and it is really hard for those whose brain functions like that to focus on things, right? And so to your point, do you think that if your sons had been diagnosed younger, do you think that would have helped them through the school system?
Probably, because in kindergarten, the teacher that he had, she would be like, wow, Aiden just cannot sit still. He is all over the place, but he was very, very smart. You're just going to have to try and curtail him. I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, but does he not learn? Is he a problem? No, but he just can't sit still. He finishes the work and he's jumping all over the place. I said, well, he is a 5-year-old little boy. How do you want me to handle that? That was always a problem. They would not diagnose him at 5 years old with ADHD. That was such a disservice to him because he got labeled in kindergarten as a child that had no structure. And I was in the school system. I was a room mom. I was in PTA. I was all of those things, an involved mother. Then I had another one that came up that was the same way. I'm also a Sunday school teacher. Well, they don't really call it that anymore. I have 3 and 4-year-olds. My babies are turning 4 now. I've had them since, most of them 9 months old. I've moved up with them since then. They are going to start kindergarten. And the way the school system is right now, it breaks my heart. They all learn differently, every single one of them. I have some that I have to get on the floor with and I have to show them, okay, you do this and you do this to make this happen. I have some that can sit at the table with me and we color and we learn our Bible verse. I have some that I have to show specifically how to use glue. Not everyone learns the same.
Paulding County is one of the largest growing counties in the state, and I see that they're building more and more schools. Is the school system too big? I mean, what do you think needs to happen for kids to be able to be taught individually?
The problem is they put a 10-year plan into place 10 years ago. They have not built new schools. This is the first school that they built in 10 years, which is going to be a middle school. That middle school, when they build it, is going to be immediately full. And then they've got 2 elementary schools that are going to be built. When those schools are built, and they're not going to be until 2025. So we've got a whole year of overcrowding in our elementary schools. Those schools, when they are built, are going to be immediately filled. We have over 15,000 houses that are being built right now. If those houses have one child, where are those children going to go to school?
It seems like that is an ongoing issue. You know, I told Shannon off air that I'm a mother as well. And even before I became a mother, I noticed that it seems like every election year, whether it's a local election or whether it's a federal election, school is a huge issue for so many people. And to your point, the fact that they are just large classrooms.
You cannot expect a teacher to have 35 children in their class and be able to help them all. It's unrealistic, especially when you put children of all learning capabilities in the room. You cannot have high learners with very low learners or children with learning disabilities in a room and expect a teacher to help them. That's unrealistic. When you have a child that melts down because they don't understand something and she has to spend 15 minutes explaining something to one child, the other people have lost it. They're acting up, they're talking, and then for that teacher to try and get a classroom back together, you've lost 30 to 45 minutes of teaching. I know that. I've got 2 kids, and I sometimes can't get my household back together for hours if I've got a kid that's melting down. Can you imagine having a classroom full of 35 kids at different ages? If you've got that many high schoolers that have their own agendas and they're ready for either break or they're ready to be done with school because they're seniors or they're juniors and they know how to rule the world now, you cannot handle that many children with that many behaviors and that many agendas. It's unrealistic.
Shannon, let me ask this question because I have never really been someone who has desired to run for office. And I really admire everyone who wants to put themselves out there like that, especially now in the climate of social media. Do you find social media as a platform where you can get the issues of your constituents in a good way, or is it something that is just really distracting for those running for office?
I'll tell you, my experience has not been very good. I used social media before as a way to connect with my family because I have family spread out in Tennessee, in Florida, in Alabama. And so I kept up with my friends because the graduating class that I was with, we have stayed pretty consistent and we just keep up with what's going on. I keep up with my grandchildren. I jumped on social media and I have posted pictures. I do short little videos. I posted a picture just the other weekend of my child and his beautiful girlfriend at the prom in Carrollton. They attacked my kid. I always thought that children were kind of off limits. They said that my kid looked stoned. They made fun of his clothes. I've had people just tell me that I'm a dumb mom, that I don't know the issues. I have never been attacked like that. I've always protected people that I love. I have just never seen people that I live in a county with be so vicious.
One last thing, what makes you qualified to run for the school board?
Well, before I was a mother, I was in banking, mortgage banking for 20-something years. I left that because it got very unethical. It was during the 2000s when the mortgage banking business went crazy. They started doing 100% mortgages and property values were being inflated, and they were just giving loans to people that could not afford them. And it made our whole economy crash and collapse. And I didn't want to be a part of that. My moral compass wouldn't allow it. I got out of that business and I went into the medical field for a little while. And then I started having children. I was 37 when I had my first child. The Lord blessed me with the 2 incredible children that I have. I now am later in my life. I'm going to be 60 next year. I started working for the school system after I had my children so I could be involved and I could be close to them and I could see what was happening after I'd been out of school for so long. My youngest child played baseball. So the politics and the things that are going on in our school for kids to just play sports and to be involved is so expensive, and it's so hard to play sports in our county. Things just need to be different for people that are underprivileged, for the children that don't get to eat in school because their parents might forget to pay for their lunch money. There's so many things that our school system could do better that they turn a blind eye to. I, as a mother, would like to see changed and like to see different. But I feel that our school system has turned into a moneymaker instead of something for children. And those are the reasons why I'm running.
Shannon, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We really appreciate it, and good luck this spring.
I want to thank you for being so kind and gracious. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you.
Life's a constant hustle, and at Credit Union of Georgia, our focus is crystal clear. It's all about you. Juggling a million things? We get it. That's why we're committed to providing the best service imaginable. We're not just your credit union, we're your financial allies. Knowledge is our power, from crafting basic budget plans to navigating the local home buying scene. Questions popping up? We've got you covered with fast, friendly answers. Because we want you to spend more time living your life. Imagine a financial institution that truly cares. That's Credit Union of Georgia inviting you to join us. If you live, work in Bartow, Cherokee, Cobb, Dawson, Paulding, Pickens, or Union County, we want you as a member of Credit Union of Georgia family. Because here, you're not just a member, you're part of a community that cares. Ready to experience banking that revolves around you? Call us at 678-486-1111 or visit cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia. Your financial journey, our priority.
We're back with more of your Paulding County News Podcast.
Here's a look at your sports thanks to New Season Church. This is from the Paulding Sports Chronicle and girls tennis playoff action. It was Lowndes County beating North Paulding 4-1. In the girls soccer playoffs, North Paulding beat Richmond Hill 2-0. They'll play West Forsyth tomorrow. And in girls lacrosse, East Paulding lost to Pope 23-3. Ouch. And the East Paulding boys lacrosse team, they lost to Allatoona 19-. Is it 0 or 0 in this?
In lacrosse, I don't know, but I think
it's 0.
Oof. And finally, in a potential breakthrough in the decade-old murder case of Russell and Shirley Dermond, DNA testing may offer a fresh lead for investigators. Now, the couple was brutally killed nearly 10 years ago at their home in Putnam County. Sheriff Howard Sills reveals that DNA testing has yielded results that do not match either victim. This development, marking a significant milestone, could potentially lead to identifying the perpetrator. While caution is warranted, as the DNA source could include individuals involved in the case, Sheriff Sills remains determined to pursue justice for the Dermonds and their grieving family. This from 11 Alive. And we will have final thoughts after this.
Whether you're new to church, have been a Christian for many years, or looking for a fresh start, you're welcome at New Season Church. New Season is a place where people can believe in God, belong to a family of believers, and become fully devoted followers. We exist so that people far from God may experience life in Christ and become fully engaged followers. Join us for one of our 2 Sunday services, 9 or 11 a.m.
Hi, this is Pastor Steve Flockhart. Whether you're new to the Paulding community or have been here since the day you were born, New Season Church is a place where all are welcome. From our exciting children and student ministries to our engaging Bible studies and small groups and events, I promise New Season Church has a place for you.
New Season Church, just off Highway 278 at 4457 Atlanta Highway in Hiram. We exist so that people far from God may experience life in Christ and become fully engaged followers. New Season looks forward to seeing your entire family this Sunday, and feel free to check us out online at newseason.cc. We believe what comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. We look forward to seeing you Sunday at 9 or 11 a.m. at New Season Church in Hiram. Thanks for listening to today's Paulding County News Podcast. Follow and subscribe to hear the latest news from the Paulding County News Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. For you, about you, and from you. Get involved in the conversation at 404-997-8655 or info@bgadgroup.com. Did you know over 50% of Americans listen to podcasts weekly? Make sure you join us for our next episode and be sure to share this podcast on social media with your friends and family. Add us to your Alexa Flash Briefing or your Google Home Briefing, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.
This podcast aggregate content from other sources for informational purposes and is in no way trying to infringe on the copyrights or businesses of any other entities. All content posted up on the site is used under the Fair Use Copyright Law 107. All audio, media, and articles are copyrighted to the original owners. All audio on this podcast are embedded from YouTube.com and are owned by their respective copyright owners. No audio information are copyrighted or stored on our servers. The court ruled that linking or embedding copyrighted videos is not copyright infringement, even if the source video was uploaded without permission. However, we will gladly remove any audio clip upon valid request from respective copyright owners. Any owners also have the option to disable embedding his YouTube videos on other websites. News and press articles are owned by the respective copyright owners. Where possible, the appropriate accreditation or source of the article is given on the same page. The audio-video files on this site are for listening purposes only. Downloading of these files to one's computer is strictly prohibited. They are owned by the respective copyright owners. If it is in the organization's belief that the usage or specific content used on our site containing copyrighted knowledge conflicts with authorized use and or does not comply with fair use as described in the context, contact us through our contact page and we will remove the offending content immediately. Thanks for listening to the Paulding County News Podcast.